Welcome into the PFF NFL Daily. Today discussing the Dallas Cowboys. Is this the year, Sam? Is this the year for the Cowboys? They're 5-1. They're coming off a dramatic overtime win against the New England Patriots, and now they've won 5 in a row. So they started the season 0-1, tough loss to the Tampa Bay Bucks. And little did we know at the time, that wasn't just Dallas giving the Bucks a good game. It was Dallas saying, "Hey, we're a legit team here in the NFC." What do you think of the Cowboys so far here, Sam? Is this the year for the Cowboys?
Yeah, it's funny that week one, they kind of rode their luck a little bit. They were only really as close as they were because of some turnovers and weird game flow, that kind of thing. But it does appear that the longer we go into the season, the more it does appear that Dallas are very much legit. They're for real. I expected them to maybe take care of business against New England a little easier than they did it. But they got the job done. They got the win on the road in New England, which it's still not the easiest place in the world to go and get a victory, despite their record this year would suggest that it is. But yeah, that Dallas offense is insane. Look at the number of weapons they have. And they don't have Michael Gallup right now, but it doesn't matter because suddenly Cedric Wilson is just making all these plays left, right, and center. CeeDee Lamb was open all game long. They didn't go to him until sort of late on when they needed those plays. They have so many weapons. Dak is playing really well. The offensive line is still really good. And the defense, it might not be amazing, but Trevon Diggs keeps finding the ball and getting turnovers and interceptions every single week.
They're opportunistic, at least defensively, right? The ball is finding Trevon Diggs. He's finding the ball. It is funny because, remember Ed Reed used to always have the ball kind of like tipped up. He was always in the right place at the right time. Diggs has a little bit of that this year. But it wasn't like the pick six that he had. It was off the receiver's hands. It's not an easy catch. I think it might have been Romo saying, "Man, that hand-eye coordination, just be able to catch it and return it back for an interception." Great play by Diggs. But yeah, that was a story of Dallas coming in, right? Will the defense at least not be a disaster? And we've seen that to this point. We saw some great rushes from Randy Gregory getting into the backfield. So we've seen the pass rush be a little bit better. The back seven, for every Trevon Diggs interception you've got some big plays they're giving up. They also gave up the 70-plus yarder to let the Patriots back in. So, look, the team's got to get a little bit better. But you mentioned it at the beginning. Nobody's scoring more points than the Cowboys this year because of Dak, how efficient he's playing, his ability to spread the ball around. And as you wake up here, when these grades are finalized, you wake up, you get your PFF grades over at PFF.com. By the way, you can get 25% off using the promo NFL Pod. Go check out the passing grades. Dak's going to be probably second or third by the time we update these grades. That is significant, and that is right where they left off before Dak got hurt last season.
Yeah, and, the other aspect of this week is a big Dan Quinn revenge game. You might have got me in the Super Bowl, but I'm going to get you back in week 6 randomly in a couple years' time. So we're even now.
Wait, you saw our Twitter follower reminded you of that, right? We had somebody throw that out at us.
It's 1-1, the New England Patriots versus Dan Quinn.
Quinn was in Seattle for the Malcolm Butler play,
true.
too.
That's true.
Not exactly even yet.
Okay, well, he's going to have to get him back in another random mid-season game sometime in the future, and then we'll be square. But yeah, look, Dallas's offense, I think, has been really good for a while now. And last season, they were absolutely cooking before Dak Prescott went down. But the defense was so bad that it didn't really matter. Like, they were still losing games. So they've kind of become a little bit like the Kansas City Chiefs of the past couple of years, where suddenly that defense, it hasn't become great. It's not an amazing defense, but it's okay. And it's enough to win you a few extra drives here or there. And it's enough to get you turnovers, as long as the ball just keeps finding its way into Trevon Diggs' hands. So all of a sudden, like, that offense is so potent that they are winning these games, and some of them they're winning pretty comfortably. So, look, Dallas is right up there now in the NFC.
Yeah, so let's go back to Dak and this passing offense again too, because remember in week 1 they didn't run the ball at all. That also looked a lot like last year's games when they kept losing with Dak. They are running the ball more efficiently. I'll repeat what I keep saying. Just have answers, right? When the defense is giving you the run, they have that now. Zeke Elliott's running hard since we called him out here on the daily. Tony Pollard was our highest graded running back going into the game. Not sure where he'll land at the end here, but 2 legitimate runners. Both guys can contribute to the pass game. The weapons that you mentioned, and again, Dak was every time they needed a play, 4th down, game on the line, whatever it was, you just kind of had that feeling Dak was going to come through, right? I mean, that has been him pretty much since 2019. I think he's really establishing himself, firmly in that top echelon of quarterbacks. And again, that's to answer the question: does Dallas have a chance this year to go win multiple playoff games for the first time since 1996? Yes, this is their best opportunity, I think, in years.
It really is. And look, it's not to say that Dak has been perfect or flawless or the best quarterback in the NFL, because the way that he comes up with the goods at the right time, we kind of skate over the bad plays. Like the interception they had in the red zone was a bad Dak throw. It was a poor ball location left behind the receiver, enabled it to be picked off. Like that's a bad play. And if it was any other quarterback and a guy who couldn't fix the problem or balance it out with some great plays later on, it would be a much bigger problem. But those are the kinds of plays that sort of impact his overall PFF grade, and means right now he's not up there with the very, very best quarterbacks of the past couple of seasons. But he is offsetting those plays, and they're making so many positive plays on the other side of the ledger, particularly when you consider all of the talent around Dak, so that it doesn't have to be just him making all those plays, that he can afford to make some bad mistakes and it not be a catastrophic sort of terminal problem.
Yeah, in yesterday's game, red zone interception, fumbles at the goal line. Whether or not you think it was a fumble, it's really close. He did fumble at the one. That happened. He's got a couple fumbles this year that are dragging the grade down just a little bit. By the way, we've got a great deal, again, from our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. They got you covered this week as all new customers who bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game. And if they do, you win $200 in free bets. That's it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's what they tell me. It's that simple. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state, it's okay. DraftKings won't leave you empty-handed. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings daily fantasy sports contests. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code PFF. Bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and win $200 in free bets. If they win, you win with promo code PFF this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, so let's wrap this up. I was, as we were figuring out, what do we want to talk about here? The Cowboys are front and center. But, man, I wanted to talk about the whole NFC as well, because we're saying, hey, can the Cowboys win multiple playoff games? Can they go to the Super Bowl? But, man, this NFC is loaded. The Packers, they overcame their week one loss, too. They're 5-1. The Bucs are still there at 5-1. The Rams are 5-1. The Cardinals are 6-0. So every week we seem to pose the question, who's the best team in the NFC? Is Dallas at least up there in this conversation? Who do you think's the best?
I think so, and they're chasing seeding at this point because Dallas has the same number of wins as the rest of the NFC East combined. So they're taking a fairly firm stranglehold on this division. The PFF power rankings heading into this week gave Dallas an 83% chance of winning the division. That's only gone in their favor given the results elsewhere today and their game today. So they're going to be as firm a favorite to win their division as any team in the NFL. So they need to start looking for seeding and for potentially being able to beat some of these other good teams in the NFC once they do get to the playoffs. But they have that recipe, right? The similar recipe to the Kansas City Chiefs for the past couple of years: have an incredible offense, have a defense that's just good enough and or opportunistic. That's going to leave you in every single game, and you're going to be a very difficult team to out in the postseason. The only concern that I would have is, some of the in-game kind of management decisions, time management, play calling, fourth down type of calls. There are other teams that are doing a better job of those things than Dallas is right now.
Mike McCarthy definitely had a 4th and 1. Dallas probably should have gone for. On the other hand, I mean, Bill Belichick was even more conservative than Mike McCarthy yesterday. Belichick was punting the ball like crazy and essentially gave up before the half with 1:30. Didn't even try to score. So it depends on how you want to weigh that in that particular game. One other note here, if you're just looking at points against, if you're just trying to say, what's this defense like? Dallas has given up 146 points. The Packers are at 136, similar range. The Bucs are at 144, so similar range among those teams that have really good offenses and, again, defenses that I think are just good enough. I think we're at least shaping up for just an awesome NFC finish again, Sam. It's going to be loaded again, and I think Dallas, what we expected them to be last year, I think what we expected them to be this year as well. They have the offense to compete. So I'm going to say, yeah, Dallas is back. They're going to be in the playoff picture, and they're as dangerous as any other team in the NFC. Are we overrating them just because of the exciting win?
No.
It's legit. Dallas is back, baby. It's a PFF NFL Daily.